Okay, guys, so let's look at what our equations are looking like in 8th grade. And we've already seen these, guys. These are the kind of equations that we've been writing. Now we're just taking it that next step and actually now solving for x, okay? So again, we have the same variable x on both sides, and we're going to solve in a very similar fashion as we've been doing. And I already have my tiles set up. I have 4x minus 2. Now this minus 2, okay, is being represented with these negative 2's. Okay, so minus 2. And then I have 3x plus 1 on the right. Okay, so first things first, when there's equations on both sides, the first thing you want to look at is the coefficients with those variables. So on the left side, the coefficient is 4. On the right side, the coefficient is 3. Okay, now we want to get our x by itself, and our x must always remain positive. So if I were to take this 4x and move it to the right side, I would have to subtract that, and then my x would be negative, which I don't want. So it's important to understand which x do you want to move, okay, in order to be able to keep your x positive. So here I'm going to take the 3x, I'm going to move it, or I'm going to subtract it from the left side first, so that way I can keep my x positive. And how we're going to do that is using our algebra tiles. So here I have the 3x on the right side, and in order to get rid of that, I need to do the opposite. So if they're positive, wrong one. If they're positive, I need to go ahead and add my negative 3, or subtract. Same thing as subtracting 3x. Okay, and if I add the negative 3's to the right, I need to also add them to the left. All right. And again, if you notice, before I'm creating the 0 pairs, I want to make sure that I'm doing it to both sides first to make sure I'm doing the same exact thing, because again, it is an equation and it needs to remain balanced at all times. So now I'm going to create these 0 pairs with the x's. Okay, so that should just leave me with 1 unit on the right. Okay, same thing on the left. I'm going to create those 0 pairs. All right, got it. Okay, now I'm left with x minus 2 on this side and positive 1 on this side. Okay, but again, my goal is to still get this x by itself, so I need to take another step, and I need to get rid of this minus 2. So I'm going to add 2. And again, if I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. So I'm going to add 2 to this side as well. And then again, I'm going to create my 0 pairs. So I finally have x by itself, and it equals 3. So again, I want to make sure, so I'm going to plug it into my calculator. Now, since there's variables on both sides, okay, I want to focus on the left side first. So if we said our solution is x equals 3, first I'm going to take 4 times 3 plus 2 and see what I get. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, this should have been a minus 2. Minus 2, and I get 10. Okay, so if I get 10 with that side, the left side, I should get 10 on the right side by plugging in the same solution. So 3 times, and we said our x was 3 plus 1. I should get 10 as well. Yep, and that's how you know your solution is correct. So for this equation, x equals 3 is the correct solution. Okay, let's move to example number 2. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this calculator. I'm going to clear my board. All right, so the second example, 7 minus 2x equals x minus 8. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and try this one, pause the video and come back and see if you're correct. And I'm going to go ahead and get my tiles set up. All right, guys, so I got my board set up with the tiles. Again, I have 7 minus 2x, and since this is a minus 2x, I represented that with the negative 2 tiles, 2 x's, and then I have x minus 8 on this side. Again, I have my positive x, and then with this minus 8, I represented that with negative 8 tiles. Okay, so first off, again, when there's equations on both sides, we want to focus on the coefficients of the x. So I have a positive x on the right, but I have negative 2x here. So if you were to think about it, if I were to move this x from the right to the left, I would still get a negative x. And again, we always want a positive x. So instead, I'm going to get rid of this minus 2x by moving it or subtracting it from the right side. So first, I'm going to, in order to cancel out or to get rid of these negative 2x, again, I need to do the opposite or the inverse and add positive 2x. And again, if I did it to one side, I have to do it to the other. Okay, now I can create those zero pairs. All right, so this is gone. And there's no zero pairs for me to make here with the x's, so that just remains 3x. Now, again, my goal is still to get these x's by itself, and it's right now attached to this minus 8. So I have to, again, create these or do the inverse operation. So instead of subtracting 8, I want to add 8. All right, so there's 2, 3. All right, one more. Okay. And now if I added 7 to this side, I need to add 7 to this side. I'm sorry, 8 to this side. I need to then add 8 to this side. So I should get, okay. And now I'm going to create my zero pairs. So again, you just drag and hover over and they just disappear like zeros. All right. Okay. And I know a lot of y'all guys are not fans of using the algebra tiles, but they do allow you to see what is happening and how we're using those inverse operations to create those zero pairs to mathematically move numbers around. All right, so I have my 3x over here, and again, it's held together by multiplication. So I want to separate them into 3 equal groups, meaning I want to divide by 3, same thing, 3 equal groups. I'm going to do the same thing with the units over here on the left. I'm going to separate these into these 3 equal groups until I don't have any more to separate. Okay, well, I guess I'll just move this down there. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this until I don't have any more to group. And again, we're dividing, guys. Remember, when we're putting things into groups, that we are dividing. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm doing. The inverse operation in multiplication is division by 3. Okay, so now I have 3 groups, but 1x, okay, 1x here is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, positive 5. So x equals 5 is our solution, but again, I don't want to just stop there. I want to make sure that it's 100% correct. So I'm going to plug it into the calculator. I'm going to start with the left side first. 7 minus 2 times 5. Okay, I get negative 3. Okay, so again, I'm going to go to the right side, and I should get negative 3 if my solution is 5. So where there's an x, I'm going to put 5 minus 8, and I get negative 3. So yes, x equals 5 is our solution for this example. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is this exit ticket, giving you the opportunity to, sorry, skip that. Okay, so here's your exit ticket for today. I'm giving you the option. You can choose either A or B, but you need to choose one. It says choose a problem and solve for X. Leave your answer in the discussion. Click the link, click this button, and it gives you a little picture of the button to use the interactive algebra tiles. So if you click this button here in the discussion, guys, it'll open up this interactive board that I've been using, so you can go ahead and move the tiles and solve that way. So you need to choose A or B, which equation you want to solve. And then in the discussion, if you choose A, then you just put A and then X equals whatever the solution that you get. Same thing if you choose B, then you put B and then you put X equals and your solution. Okay, and then make sure you submit it. All right, guys, so I hope this helps. If it doesn't and you need more clarification, please join me at the lives every day at 9:30 and 2. And I hope you have a great Monday.